Hey everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things. And today we're going to talk about the 2026 Reading Challenge for Adults. 24 books, hopefully in some kind of order. You can read them from the top to the bottom, or whatever you're feeling. Okay, 2026 Reading Challenge for Adults. I cannot wait start this challenge. We're gonna go through this going down. I if you decide to print this out, I have made it so you have checkboxes and numbers. I put them in order roughly on like the book should line up with, so like the first two books should be okay for January, and the third and fourth book should be good for February and stuff like that. That's what I was going for. Did I succeed? I don't know. It depends on how fast you read. But that's how I set this up so that I would read 2 books off of my adult challenge a month. Hopefully. Hopefully. The first book is called Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. I don't know. It was on my TBR list. Why it was on my TBR list, but I put it in the wheel spinner thingy and I spun the wheel and this is what I got. So I put it on here. Looking at real estate isn't usually a life or death situation, but an apartment open house becomes just that when a failed bank robber bursts in and takes a group of strangers hostage. The captives include a recently tired couple who restlessly restlessly hunt down fixer-uppers to avoid the painful truth that they can't fix their own marriage. There's a wealthy bank director who has been too busy to care about anyone else, and a young couple who are about to have their first child, but can't seem to agree on anything. And to add an 87-year-old woman who has lived long enough not to be afraid of someone waving a gun in her face. Flustered, but still ready to make a deal, real estate agent. And a mystery man who has locked himself in the apartment's only bathroom. You've got the worst group of hostages in the world. Each of them carry a lifetime of grievances, hurts, secrets, passion that are ready to boil over. None of them is entirely who they appear to be. And all of them, bank robber included, desperately crave some sort of rescue. As the authorities media surrounds the premises, these reluctant allies will reveal surprising truths about themselves and set in motion so unexpected that they can hardly explain what happens. Um, it sounds really interesting, and that's why it went on my 26 reading challenge. The next book that I have is called Girlhood Ignored Ghosts is the first book in the Unbelievables series. So this book says that it's for 13 and up, but I don't know anything about this series, and I didn't realize that till right now. But it's on the list, and here we go. It says She tried to ignore them, but some things won't be ignored. Kat Preston doesn't believe in ghosts, not because she can't see it, not because she's never, but because she's seen too many. Refusing to believe is the only way to protect herself from ghosts that try to steal her life. Kat's disbelief keeps her safe until her junior year at Academy, when a research project for an eccentric takes her to a private island off the coast of Connecticut. The site is the site of a grisly mystery. The Isle of Acacia is no longer no place for a girl who ignores ghosts. But the ghosts leave Kat little choice. Accompanied by her research partner, Evan Kingsley, she investigates the disappearance of Casey Mallory and Sebastian Radcliffe on their wedding night in 1886. Evan's scientific approach to everything leaves Kat on her own to confront a host of unbelievables, ancestral curses, powerful spells, and her strange connection to ghosts that haunts Castle Brighton? But that's all before Kat's yanked through a magic portal and Evan follows her. When the two of them awaken 129 years in the past, with their souls trapped inside the body of the two wedding guests, everything changes. Together, Kat and Evan race to stop the wedding night murders and find a way back to their own time in their own bodies before their souls slip away forever. Okay, so it says that this is a YA gothic thriller. That doesn't YA doesn't always mean it's for teens. YA is young adult, which means it it could be tame, but adult is 18 and older. So keep that in mind when you go to give your kid a YA book. Because sometimes it's not PG. I don't know anything about this one. Don't spoil myself. I'm excited to read it. I'm going to read this in January. um next for the two books that I'm going to read in February, maybe, is The Way of Shadows and Dancing in the Street. So funny story. Way of Shadows actually came into my marriage via my husband. And we've been married for like over 9 years and I never read it. No. My husband and I have been married for 9 years. I never read this book. In fact, we have the whole trilogy in a nice little box. And I never read it. So the time is now to read this. It sounds interesting. It looks interesting. Am I going to be able to pronounce their name? Probably not. Probably not. Six, gosh, this is a big book. It has 600 and something pages. 600, and this is as extras. 645 pages. What am I getting myself into? Okay. The Way of Shadows. For Durzo Flint, assassination is an art, and he is the city's most accomplished artist. For Azeroth, Azeroth, survival is precarious. Something you never take for granted as a guild rat. He's grown up, slums, and learned to judge people quickly and take risks. Risks like apprenticing himself to Durzo Flint. But to be accepted, Azeroth must turn his back on his old life and embrace a new identity and name as Kylar Stern. He must learn to navigate the assassin's world of dangerous politics, strange magics, and cultivate a flair for death. I don't know, it just sounds good. It sounds interesting. I don't know anything else about this book. Will this be a good book to read in February? We'll find out. We'll find out in 2026. Um, the next book in this challenge is Dancing in the Streets by Barbara, however you say her last name, because I don't know. I got this for Christmas years ago, and this is one of those books I started reading and then I got busy doing other stuff. So I put it down and then I picked it up again to start reading, and I would find a different book that I was also reading and I would have to put it down because too much was going on and I never got to it. So here it is on this list now. It says drawing on a wealth of history and anthropology, Barbara uncovers the deep origins of communal revelry in human biology and culture. Although Europeans from the 16th century onward view mass festivities as foreign and savage, she shows that they were, in fact, indigenous to the West from the ancient Greek worship of the gods in the middle to the medieval practices of Christianity as a dance religion. Ultimately, church officially succeeded in driving the festivities out of the church and into the streets, becoming carnivals. Following the same patterns of repression, re- Reformation Protestants criminalized carnivals. Muslims battled ecstatic Sulfism, and Europeans colonizer wiped out native dance rituals. Elite fears that collective festivities would undermine social hierarchy were not entirely unjustified. The festival traditions inspired French revolutionary crowds and countless uprisings of slaves and colonized people from the Caribbean to West Africa to the American plains. Yet a tradition so deep ingrained is not easy to annihilate. Barbara argues, pointing to the recent outbreak of group revelry from the rock and roll rebels of the 1950s and 60s to the carnivalization of sports events in the 1980s and 1990s. Original, exhilarating, and profoundly optimistic, Dancing in the Street concludes that are innately social beings, held mostly instinctively to share our joy, and therefore able to envision, perhaps even create, a more peaceful future. Sounds interesting. Um, I took dance for years, and I'm always interested in learning stuff about dance, watching, reading dance. So, yeah, I put this on the list. It's also been just hanging out in my house, so thought I'd move on. The next two books. The next two books. Okay. We have Delirium by Lauren Oliver, The Princess Bride by William Pullman. I have never read either of these. So, this one, Delirium, it was all of the hype. You know what? That's gotta be what it is. So, if a book gets really popular and everyone's talking about it before I read it, I don't feel interested in reading it. I read Harry Potter before it got popular. I read the first 2 books before it blew up and became a movie and all that stuff. But I had no interest in, The Hunger Games or Twilight until they were, like, after they had become big, and one of my friends was like, "You have to come see the movie with me." And I was like, "Meh." But then she let me borrow her book, and I read it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can go see this." I don't know. I read the Pretty Little Liars series. I had started reading that before it became popular on TV. Most people don't even know that they're books. Anyway, so I never read this. I never read this. I never read the Maze Runner. I never read um Host until a few years ago. I like there's a lot of books that were like super popular and everyone, yeah, this is the best book. You got to read this. And I was like, too much hype. Because if I read it and then it lets me down, then I'm like, actually, I didn't like that book. People are gonna be mad at me. So anyway, now that this book's not so popular, I'm gonna read it. And it says, they say that the cure for love will make me happy and safe forever. And I've always believed them until now. Now everything has changed. Now I'd rather be infected with love for the teeny sliver of a second than live 100 years smothered by lies. From what I understand, this is a dystopian type book or a type kind of like an apocalyptic type book. This might also be a YA book. Yeah, it says 14 and up. So it's considered a YA book, but I don't know what it has any 3 books in this series. Okay. So this says more than the back of my book said. In an alternate United States, love has been declared dangerous. and the government forces everyone who reaches 18 to have a procedure called the cure. Living with her aunt, uncle, and cousins in Portland, Nina Holloway is very much looking forward to being cured and living a safe, predictable life. Watches Love destroy her mother. She watched Love destroy her mother and out to make a mistake. But with 95 days left until Nina meets fanatic Alex, a boy who is wild from the wild, who lives under the government's radar. What will happen? They do unthinkable, fall in love. Am I gonna root for them? I'm not seeing anything about anyone letting a child read. So we'll find out what this is about. I am excited. I am excited for all. But to finally read this, give me a good dystopian book. Okay, and The Princess Bride. So my husband had this book when we got married. Oh, what's this? Oh, there's a map. Oh no, the map is stuck together. Oh, there's a map. Oh my goodness. I don't want to tear. It's, you know how you got those little sticky tab things that are like little glue dots? Okay. There's a map. Oh my goodness. Okay, so my husband brought this into our marriage, but he's never read it. I don't think it doesn't feel like it's ever been read, and I've never read it. And to be honest, I don't remember if I've ever seen the movie. So, Princess Bride is on the list. And yes, I will probably say these names wrong. Are you ready? The Princess Bride is a timeless tale that pits country against country, good against evil, love against hate. This incredible journey and artful rendering love story is peppered with strange beasts, monstrous and gentle. Memorable surprises, both terrible and sublime, and such unforgettable characters. And then it has a description of all the characters, and I'm not going to read about that part because I already know mess up those names. So there's no point of yeah. So this is on the reading challenge, and I'm gonna finally read it, and hopefully it's like springy. I don't know. So that was like Marchish books, and these are April books. We have Twisted by Adrian Kane. I don't remember how I got this book. I think I got it in a Fill-A-Bag, and I feel like I've read it before, but I am not positive. Or maybe I've read something. Maybe I watched something. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. It says, who will be next? Though former FBI Special Agent Sloan Burbank once survived a life-threatening injury in the line of duty, she now uses her specialized skills as an independent consultant. But when one of her closest childhood friends mysteriously disappears, Sloan takes the case, even though her ex-lover, Derek Parker, is the FBI agent in charge. Special Agent Derek Parker has no time for a dead-end case, especially since it would mean working with a woman he never expected to see again. But as more women disappear and others turn up brutally murdered, He and Salome come to a sickening realization that these random crimes are linked to the same raised killer, a fiend with a mind so psychotic, so twisted, that it will take everything Sloane has to capture him, even it as she becomes his latest target. It sound like it really I really do think that I might have read this one before, but if I did, I'm gonna read it again. And As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the third book in the Good Girls Guide for Murder series, and I thought I read this one, but whenever I was skimming through it, I don't remember it. And so I may have to read the other two books again before I read this one, but this one's going to get read. And it says, "You'll never think of Good Girls the same way again." Pip is about to head to college, but she's still haunted by the way her last investigation ended. She used She's used to online death threats in the wake of her viral true crime podcast, but she can't help noticing the anonymous person who keeps asking her, who will look for you when you're the one who disappears. Soon the threats escalate, and Pip realizes that someone is following her in real life. When she starts to find connections between the stalker and the local serial killer caught 6 years ago, she wonders if maybe the wrong man is behind bars. Police refuse to act, so Pip has only one choice: find the suspect herself or become the next victim. As a deadly game plays out, Pip discovers that everything in her small town is coming full circle. And if she doesn't find answers, this time she will be the one who disappears. Um, just love Holly Jackson books. That's all. We're just gonna. That's all. The next book on this challenge is I Found You by Lisa Jewell. Jewell? Jewell? Well. Jewell? Oh man. And then also Designs to Die For. But those are both for May. May. Um I Found You by Lisa Jewell. In the windswept British seaside town of Riding House Bay, single mom Alice Lake finds a man sitting on the beach outside her house. He has no name, no jacket, and no idea how he got there. Against her better judgment, she invites him inside. Meanwhile, in a suburb of London, newlywed Lily Monrose grows anxious when her husband fails to return home from work one night. Soon she receives worse news. According to the police, the man she married never even existed. 23 years earlier, Gray and Christy Ross are teenagers on a summer holiday with their parents. The annual trip to Riding House Bay is uneventful until an enigmatic young man starts paying extra attention to Christy. Something about him makes Gray uncomfortable, and it's not just because he's a protective older brother. Who is the man on the beach? Where is Lily's missing husband? And whatever happened to the man who made such a lasting and disturbing impression on Gray? I don't know. I want to find out. Um, it's on my list. Oh, then have Designs to Die For by Dan Fields. This is part of a series that every book in the series is by a different author. Okay, this one says Kate Stevens moved lock, stock, and barrel from Maine to charming Sage Hills, Texas, hoping to become a household name in the world of crochet design. Instead, she finds herself thrown into a gruesome murder investigation, and she is the prime suspect. That's all I'm going to read because I don't want it to be too spoilery with what happens. It tells you a lot. Yeah, let's move on. Okay. We have Wrong Hostage and Heat Wave. Okay, wait, where am I? January, February, March, April, May. So we're in June, summertime. Okay, so we have Wrong Hostage by Elizabeth Lowell. This one. My iced coffee isn't that cold anymore. That's how long this video's been. Fine tingling suspense delivers a chilling tale of lawlessness, vengeance, Harold. Grace Sylvia clawed her way out of poverty to become one of the elected judges in the federal or on the federal bench. A steadfast believer in the sanctity of the law, she has never allowed doubt or vulnerability to cloud her judgment or influence her actions, except one. Now her teenage son, a desperate and bloodthirsty criminal, and Grace must seek help from a face from her past. Retired kidnap specialist Joe Bro, who is a man who ruthlessly plays outside the lines that Grace upholds, a man she once recklessly loved and betrayed. With time ticking rapidly away, with, with time ticking rapidly away, she must trust Joe to lead her safely through a deadly shadow world where laws and government do not exist. But once they cross that border together, they might never make it back. Dun, dun. Um, I don't think I've ever read this book, but it sounds really interesting. So, this one went on the list. Next, we have Heat Wave by Kate Roridan. 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 I don't know. I don't know how to say it. This one I actually picked up at Dollar Tree. It was $1.50. But it looked fun and it sounded interesting and yeah. Elodie was beautiful. Elodie was smart. Elodie was manipulative. Elodie is dead. When Sylvie Durant receives a letter calling her back to her crumbling family home in the south of France, she knows she has to go. In the middle of the sweltering 1990s summer, marked by unusual fires across the countryside, she returns to she returns with her youngest daughter, Emma, in tow, and with a deep sense of dread from the place she long tried to forget. As memories of the events that shattered their family a decade earlier threaten to come to surface, Sylvie struggles to shield Emma from the truth of what happened all those years ago. But she can't escape the specter, specter of El- Elodie, her first child. Elodie, born amid the 1968 Paris riots, with one blue eye and one brown, and mysteriously gone by 14. Elodie, who reminded the small village of one of those Mason girls. Elodie, who knew exactly how to get what she wanted. As the fires creep towards the villa, it's clear to Sylvie that something isn't quite right, and that there's a much greater threat closer to home. Yeah. I was like, why not? So I put it on the list, and now we're gonna move to the next two books on the list. So now we're in August? No, July? July. And we have The Midsummer Feast by Luke Hawley. Hawley? This one I have been hearing about and hearing about and hearing about, and it looks really pretty. It's got green sprayed edges. So, why not? Secrets, lies, murder. Let the festivities begin. It's opening night of the Manor, the newest and hottest luxury resort, and no expense, small or large, has been spared. The infinity pool sparkles, the Manor's mule cocktail of grapefruit, ginger, vodka, and a dash of CBD oil is being poured with a heavy hand. Everyone is wearing linen, but under the burning midsummer sun, darkness stirs. Old friends and enemies circulate among the guests. Just outside the Manor's immaculately kept grounds, an ancient forest bristles with secrets. And it's not too long before the local police are called. Turns out, the past has a way of crashing with deadly results. The girl boss, the husband, the kitchen help, the mystery guest, everyone's got a secret. Everyone's got an agenda. But not everyone will survive the midnight feast. Um, it sounds so fun, okay? And it's summery, and like this would be perfect to read in summer. So I put it on the list. Next one I got is this book called Sisters of Summer's End by Lori Foster. And this is another one that I found at Dollar Tree, of all places. They got some books. Don't skip Dollar Tree books, okay? As the summer ends, friendship begins. When single mom Joy Lee abandons her old life to take a job at a lakeside resort, she finds something that her family's wealth and influence could never buy: peace of mind. Not easy to come by for the once burned divorcee who keeps everyone at a distance. But when her new friend, Maris, dares to take a chance with a drive in charismatic new owner, everything changes for Joy and her. A difficult childhood has left Maris with definite priorities. her job running Summer's End, the camp store, and cafe come first. Always. Nothing could make her risk the hard won security, especially not her free spirited colleague. But the more she encourages Joy to open herself up to this, the more Maris begins to wonder what she too might be missing out. Learning how to trust will bring Joy and Maris together, and soon they form a friendship that leaves them as close as sisters and open to love where all where they least expect it in Summer's End. When I picked this up, it said Summer's End. I thought it meant summer. I mean, I think it is set in the end of summer, but Summer's End is the inn, is like the little hotel that they're working in, the resort. There you go. But it sounds fun, and hopefully it's good. The spoilers. Uh, next. So now we're in August, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah. So for August, I was thinking like back to school vibes. And I put on here Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, which I think is a YA book. I think it's for 14 and up, but you know what? I can read whatever I want to read. And then also Sunshine Girl by Paige Mackenzie. My mom read the Sunshine Girl, and she is so good. And I keep hearing about Love, Simon, and I wanted to read this book. So here we are. 16-year-old and not so openly gay Simon Fire? Ooh. Simon prefers to save his drama for the school musical, but when an email falls into the wrong hands, his secret is at risk of being thrust into the spotlight. Now Simon is actually being blackmailed. If he doesn't play wingman to the class clown Martin, his sexual identity will become everyone's business. Worse, the privacy of Blue, his pen name of the boy he's been emailing with, will be jeopardized. As his email correspondence with Blue grows more flirtatious every day, Simon's junior year has suddenly gotten all kinds of complicated. Simon has to find a way to step out of his comfort zone before he is pushed out, without alienating his friends, compromising himself, or fumbling a shot at happiness with the most confusing, adorable guy he's ever met. Yeah. 14 and up because of probably the conversation between him and the other boy. Um, so this is on the list. I haven't read it, and I don't know anything about it other than what's on the back, and I'm excited. Sunshine Girl is the next book on this list. I think this one is also a YA book. But I don't have a cover. Mine doesn't have it. Look, it's got gold foiling. Let me tell it. So this book my mom gave me, she said she picked it up, read it, and then she went and got the other two books because she needed the whole series and she didn't know what happened. Yeah. It's for 11 and up. Well, you know what? The adults can read whatever they feel like. You're adults. Um, Shortly after her 16th birthday, Sunshine Griffin, Mother Cat, sunny Austin, Texas. Oh, another Texas place. To the rain drenched town of Ridgemont, Washington. Oh, she left Texas? Sorry. That's a big difference, though. Texas to Washington State, they're very different places. It's colder up there. Though Sunshine was adopted, her and her mother have always been close, sharing a special bond filled with laughter and inside jokes. But from the moment they arrived, Sunshine feels her world darken with an eeriness she cannot place. And even if Kat doesn't recognize it, Sunshine knows that something about their new house is just creepy. In the days that follow, things get stranger. Sunshine is followed around the house by an icy breeze. Phantom winds slam her bedroom door shut, and eventually the laughter Sunshine hears on her first night evolves into sobs. She can hardly believe it, but as the spirits haunting her house become more frightening, and it becomes clear that Kat is in danger, Sunshine must accept what she is, pass the test before her, and save her mother from a fate worse than death. What is she? Ha! No, put it down. You're not gonna read it now. Okay. That sounds interesting. I want to know. I want to know. I need to know. The next book that I have, or the next two books, let's see, we have Fire Spell and Legends and Lattes. I put these in September because they just felt September-y. I don't know. Fire Spell is actually, it's actually a kid book. Sorry, I put them back to back. What we need books 14. Okay, so it's not that little. It's a little book, but it's not, okay. This is the first book in a 3-book series called Arc, which I know nothing about. So here we go. As the new student at St. Sophie's boarding school, Lily Parker thinks her classmates are the most monstrous things she'll ever have to face. But oh, how she was. When Lily's parents decide to send her away to a fancy boarding school in Chicago, she is not happy. Lily's classmates are the ultra rich Rat Pack type. And that isn't enough. She's hearing and seeing bizarre things on St. Sophie's creepy campus. The only thing keeping her sane is her roommate, Scout. But even Scout is a little weird. She keeps disappearing late at night. When a prank leaves Lily trapped in the catacombs beneath the school, Lily finds Scout, who's running from a real-life monster. Scout is part Scout is part of a splinter group of rebel teens who protect Chicago from demon camps and the gone to the dark side magic users called Reapers. She lets Lily in, even though Lily has no powers of her own, or at least none she's discovered. Fire spells. Uh, the front says, "New girl, new school, old evil." I have had this, or I got this in one of the fill bags, and I was like, this looks interesting, and I want to read it. So I'll put it on the list. This next one has been on my reading challenges before, and I never got to it. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. Baldry? I don't know. This guy. Um, Now, I do want to say, for reference, that as much as I like watching type things, I am not a big Dungeons and Dragons fan. How do you say it? D&D? I've never really played, but it just seems complicated to me when I do see people play. I'm just sure. After a lifetime of boundaries and bounties and bloodshed, Viv is hanging up her sword for the last time. The battle a the battle Harry org aims start fresh, opening first ever coffee shop in the city of yeah. But rivals old and new stay of success. Not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. If Viv wants put the blade behind her and make her plan reality, able to go at it alone. But true reward but the true rewards of the uncharted path are the travelers you take. And whether drawn together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a fresh brewed cup, they may become partners, family, something deeper could have dreamt. It just sounds cute. Um, I've had my eye on this book since it came out. Um, and then I got it and I started it. I think I read 2 chapters and for some reason I had to stop. And here I am, gonna read it in 2026. Yay! Then we have October. A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Has I've had it for a while. My mom gave it to me. I don't think she ever read it, but my mom gave it to me, and they looks so nice. Like I love the cover, and I just want the rest of the books on my shelf. They look really cool. But I have read some of this and then I've had to put it down and then I watched the TV show and here I am wanting to read it for real. And I was like, I gotta put it on. If I put it on the challenge, I have to read it. Yeah. Deep in the heart of Oxford's Bolinia, Bodleian. Anyway, an Oxford library. Scholar Diana Bishop requests a manuscript called Ashmore 7 in the course of her research. Coming from an old and distinguished line of witches, Diana says that the ancient book might be bound up with magic, but she herself wants. And after making a on the curious images, she banishes it quickly back to the stack. But what she doesn't know is that the old al- alchemic text has been lost for centuries, and its sudden appearance has set a fantastical underworld stirring. Soon, a distracting lord of demons horde Soon, a distracting horde of demons, witches, and vampires descend upon the library reading room. One of these creatures is Matthew Grant, a enigmatic and eminent geneticist practitioner of yoga and wine connoisseur, and also a vampire with a keen interest in Ashmore 782. Equal parts history and magic, romance, suspense. A Discovery of Witches is a novel of epic scope traveling from the cobbled streets of Oxford to the plateaus and mountains of the, I don't know how to say this. Nope. I think it's a French word. To a small town in upstate New York. It also takes us to the rich 1500 year to a 1500-year history that spans cloves and crusaders, the Knights Templar, and the American Revolution. As Matthew and Diana's alliance deepens into intimacy, Diana must come to terms with age old taboos and her own family's conflicted history. And she must learn where the modern woman she is meets the source of ancient power that is her legacy. With a scholar's depth and a touch of great storytelling, Deborah Harkness has woven a tale of passion and obsession, the collision of magic, alchemy, and science, and the closely guarded secret of the enchanted world. It just sounds fun. Sounds interesting. And I remember I liked the TV show. So, we're going to read the book. We're not going to knock that pile over. We're going to read the book. Also on this for October is Deadly 9 Tales of the Witching by Patrick Burke. That's how you say his name. And this one is it's 9 short stories. Like Dead Leaf, it sounds fall, October. Strange text messages portend a strange kind apocalypse. Two brothers find themselves drawn to the only house in the neighborhood not decorated for Halloween. A man returns to his hometown to bury his overbearing mother and finds more than memories waiting for him in the shadows of his childhood home. A young girl walks a lonely country road recalling a rhyme that brings with it memories of death. A teenager hoping for romance gets more than he bargained for when the object of his desire introduces him to the object of hers. An aging millionaire awakes buried in a cheap coffin with only a lamp and a bell for company. The son of a woman accused of being a witch accepts the villagers' peace offering at her funeral, but all is not quite as it seems. A woman with a violent past realizes that this year's Halloween party may be coming for her. And a lonely trick-or-treater awakens in a house rumored to be the place of death. It's just, I guess, little pieces of the stories that you'll see in this book, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. This is one I'm probably gonna get in book form. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this one in book form so I can have it for every Halloween. Um, Moving on. Next two books that I thought would be good for like November. Flipped for Murder and The Hour of the Pumpkin Queen. So Flipped for Murder, my grandma read this. She gave it to me. And at the back of it says recipes for you to try. I love good recipes. I don't see where the recipes are. Oh, they're in the story. Oh, okay. That'll be fun. And nursing a broken heart, Robbie Jordan is trading her life on the West Coast for the rolling hills of southern Indiana. After paying a visit to her aunt, she fell in love with the sleepy town of Southlake, and when she spots a for sale sign on a rundown country store, she decides to snap it up and put her skills as a cook and a carpenter to use. Everyone in the town shows up for the grand reopening of Pans and Pancakes. But when the mayor's disagreeable assistant is found dead, Robbie realizes that not all press is good press. With all eyes on her, she'll have to summon her puzzle solving skills to clear her name, unscramble the town's darkest secret, and track down a cold blooded killer before she is next to die. So, yeah, there's a kitty cat in this book. Oh, there's a kitty cat in this book. I can't wait. Don't read. Okay. And then we have The Hour of the Pumpkin Queen. This one I got for my birthday in August, and I've been waiting to read it. And then I was making this challenge, and I was like, I'm gonna put it on the list so that I have a reason to read it. I read Oh, Long Live the Pumpkin Queen is somewhere. It's not here, which means either it's in the boxes that have been lost because I know I'm missing like at least 2 series, and one of those series has over 13 books in it. Um, by the way, this book is recommended for 17. Anyway, anyway, Hour of the Pumpkin Queen is Sally's time as running out. 1 year has passed since Sally wed her beloved Jack Skellington, stepped into her role as Halloween. Even with Jack at her side, though, being a ruler isn't easy, and Sally feels uncertain of her future. Her seams are stretched thin with her royal duties, her newly found family in Dreamtown, and a desire to bring citizens across Hitherland together. Then a simple potion demonstration at Sally's inaugural Halloween exhibition goes horribly wrong, and things unravel fast. Sally and her new ragdoll apprentice, Luna, fall through a mysterious portal, landing in a new realm called Time Town. They soon discover that someone has tampered with the clock that controls Halloween Town, and Sally cannot return to the present day version of her unless she finds the culprit and resets time. Sally and Luna embark on a journey to unmask the truth, encountering more towns, friends, and foes along the way. But the clock is ticking, and as Sally fights to save Jack and her hometown, she wonders what kind of future she really wants and what she must sacrifice to get it. I'm so happy. And get the edges. Love it. Okay. I'm moving on. That was November. We are on December books now. And we have Abandon by Blake Crouch and Boys in the Valley by Philip Franz Fragossi. I don't know how to say that. I'm terrible. Okay. Abandoned by Blake Crouch has been on my shelves for time because I got it in a fill-a-bag, and I feel like this one would be perfect for around Christmas time. On Christmas Day in 1893, every man, woman, and child in a remote mining town will disappear. Belongings forsaken, meals left to freeze in vacant cabins, and not a single bone to be found. Not even the gold that was rumored to have been the pride of the town. 113 years later, two backcountry guides are hired to lead his history professor and his journalist daughter to into the abandoned mining town so they can learn what happened. This has been done once before, but the people who went in did not come out. Joining them are a psychic and a paranormal photographer. The town is rumored to be haunted. They've come to see a ghost town, but what they are about to discover is that 20 miles from civilization, with a blizzard bearing down upon them, they are not alone, and the past is very much alive. Yeah. So, sounds menacing, kind of. um, it sounds like it's gonna be cold, and I'm excited to read this one. The last book on this list is called Boys in the Valley, and this one I've heard a lot of people talk about. So I'm afraid that it's either going to be really good or people are lying and it's not going to be good at all. But Goodreads has it as a 4.1 and Amazon has it as a 4.4, and I want to know. I want to know about this book. So it's on this list. St. Vincent's Orphanage for Boys, early 12th century in a remote valley of Pennsylvania. Here, under the watchful eye of several priests, 30 boys work, learn, and worship. Peter Barlow, orphaned as a child by a gruesome murder, has made a new life here. As he approaches adulthood, he has friends, a future, a family. Then, late one stormy night, a group of men arrive at their door, one whom is badly wounded, occult symbols carved into his flesh. His death releases an ancient evil that spreads like sickness, infecting St. Vincent's and the children within. Soon boys begin acting differently, forming groups, taking sides. Others turn up dead. Now Peter and those dear to him must choose sides of their own, each of them knowing their lives, and perhaps their eternal souls, are at risk. Yeah, that is something that I keep hearing about, and everyone is. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's eerie. It's beautifully written. Um, horror fan, horror fans read this. I'm gonna read it next year. 2026 is gonna be the year I read this book. Um, so yeah, 2026 reading challenge is here. Are you going to be doing this with me? That is the question. And that is the 2026 reading challenge for adults. I am super excited about this. I already know that I'm going to finish more off of this challenge than I did off of the 2025 challenge. And I am super excited and I'm already proud of myself. And I just want to start reading these now. But I will hold off until January 1st. It might be midnight. It might be 12:01 when I pick up the first book. But I will wait until January to read these books. Um yes. So, which one are you most first off, like this video if you like this video. Um Comment below, are you doing this challenge with me? I need to know who's doing it if there's more people out there that's going to do this challenge. Comment below which of these books have you read? And if you haven't read any of them, which one are you most excited about? I think I am most excited about okay, there's two of them that just like at me. So the first one is The Hour of the Pumpkin Queen because I got that one for my birthday and I've been waiting to read it. And then the second one is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson because I just need to finish the series. The next one that pops out at me is obviously Discovery of Witches because I've started that book several times. I just need to finish it. And then The Haunting of Sunshine Girl because my mom gave it to me and she said it was so good she couldn't put them down. And if my mom likes a book, then it's got to be a good book. So, those are my top 4 on here on the 2026 reading challenge for adults. Let me know what your thoughts are on this and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you've watched me before and you keep coming back to my videos, just subscribe and then I'll be under your subscriptions. Search for me anyway or wait for me to pop up um for you section, the recommendation section. Just subscribe to me so that I'm always available to you. If you're not sure if you want to subscribe, you can click my face circle. The face bubble is down here. You click on it, it should take you to my channel, and then you can go check out my other videos. I do a lot of book videos or book related videos. I think I even did a book swap video this year. I went to an event and then I also do some gaming stuff. I like Nancy Drew. And I've done some crafts. And I have playlists in case you want to narrow down what you're watching. Yeah. So subscribe if you want to subscribe. Also, share this video because we need more people on our challenge. Yeah? If you're gonna do the challenge, you have a friend that's gonna do the challenge. You gotta invite people to the challenge. I can't wait for the challenge. Oh, okay. Gotta breathe. Gotta calm down. Okay, I will see you in the video. Don't forget to share this and comment below so that we know that we're on the same page. Get it? Get it? Page like. Okay. It's I will see you on my next video. Bye!